If you watched the movie Elf, you might remember when Will Ferrell's character says that memorable line, "Smiling's my favorite." Well, I know one other person who has that same motto, and that's School Bus Fleet's 2026 Administrator of the Year. I'm going to introduce you to her in just a moment. But first, let me thank the sponsor of the route, IC Bus. The next generation is here and is ahead of its class. Let's get rolling. Calkins is the Director of Transportation at North Clackamas School District in Oregon, and she's one of the most positive people in this industry I've come across. She's one of those leaders who exudes cheer and happiness. Interestingly, she almost quit her job driving a school bus years ago. So, what made her stay and what made her succeed? Spoiler alert, it has to do with positivity. But I want you to hear her story in her own words, so she's going to join us to talk all things leadership. Let's get to it. Okay, now I am joined by Kathy Calkins, our Administrator of the Year. Kathy, thank you so much for joining us on the route.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
We're so honored to have you, and your story just really touched my heart. You were such an incredible example of leadership in school transportation, and I'm so excited that you get to share your story with our viewers yourselves this time. So, Kathy, when you heard the news that you had won this award, what was your reaction to winning? Did you even know that you were nominated?
No, I did not. My reaction was speechless. Sam is the one that nominated me, and him and my administrative secretary came into my office to let me know. And I'm a smiley face freak. I love smiley faces. He had a smiley face balloon, and he came in with a postcard and with a congratulations. You won Administrator of the Year, and I'm like, what? What are you talking about? It took a little bit to sink in because there's so many people that, I don't want to put this, that deserve this award. And I'm not saying I don't deserve it, but I'm saying that people work so hard in this industry. And so, yeah.
I mean, you're right. They do. There are so many people in this industry who inspire me every day.
Yeah.
But yeah. And
So
it's one of the best things about this job is we get to read all of these stories, and it makes it hard to select a person each year when you feel so bad saying no to some others, but you were very, very deserving this year.
Thank you.
Yeah. Before we get into what I really wanted to talk to you about, just give our viewers a really quick overview of your journey into student transportation. I understand you started as a driver and almost quit. So tell us about that.
I have two boys, and I thought I can just get on that bus and be a mom, and everything will work great. It'll be wonderful. It's a lot different when you get on a bus and you have 50 kids. I think I had a total of 71 year, in elementary.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And, I had no idea what I was getting into. None, zero. I started learning about positive behavior intervention systems and did trainings, and became a leader of that in the district that I worked for. It took me about 3 years. I didn't quit. Many times I went home and thought, what the heck are you doing to yourself? We don't have to live like this. But I really love kids, and we had 100 drivers, and something they were doing was working. What can I do that will work for me? The positive behavior and listening to the training that I received. I was pretty stubborn the first 3 years and thought I could just be me. And I learned how to just be me and to recognize the students, catching them being good instead of catching them being naughty. And that really changed my world. It changed my world with the relationships that I was able to build with the students this way. And I learned that kids they want attention. And if you have a choice as a driver to give them good attention or negative attention. And when I chose to give that good attention instead of negative, it changed my world with them. And
How is it that this, positive behavior, what does it stand for again? PBIS. How did that come onto your radar in the first place? Was it a specific training offered by your district at the time?
yeah, our district as a whole wanted to go into this program.
Okay.
And so the schools were involved. We had what's called bus tickets. When you caught students being good, you would give them a bus ticket. You would say, "Oh, look at Andy, you're sitting today. Very good. Good job." And they get a bus ticket. The tickets then were brought into the schools, and the schools supported from the bus drivers the tickets that they brought in, or I gave my students to bring in. And the kids loved it. And it was a wake up call for me when I gave a ticket to a student and I said, "What a great job you're doing. You're sitting down, you have your backpack in your lap. Wonderful." And there was like 8 kids around that area and they all just sat up straight, put their backpack in their lap. And I knew that that was the way to go because they wanted that attention. They want that attention. And so it was great. It was a wake up call.
Yeah. Well, and it really flips discipline on its head, right? Because students usually get something or get attention when they're bad.
Yeah. Yeah. The program definitely works. The schools got away from it, but it never left me in the way that, there was ways that even though the schools kind of went away from it, there was ways to still acknowledge those students in a positive way. And Dollar Tree is a wonderful place to get, presents off. It doesn't take much. Pencil, stickers. There's so many things that you can get to reward your students with.
Yeah.
So,
you said that you love positivity. You love smiling.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it makes a lot of sense why this theory, stuck with you.
Right.
How have you brought it with you through the rest of your career? Because you're no longer at that first district. So how has it shifted how you lead?
I still taught classes, and the class I have a class called Triggers that I've done.
Okay.
Triggers is all about so I can still present to bus drivers and my drivers. This works. And Triggers is a 2-hour class that I teach about how it works, how to make it work. And the thing is, that old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but they don't always drink. That's the same with drivers. It's really hard because our culture, I believe, is pretty negative. I mean, it's easy to be negative. It takes work it takes work to be positive. I work at it every day. And I do start my day with a smile on my face. If I don't get it back, I don't care. I'm still gonna smile at people. I think people need that in their day. Just to let them know everything's gonna be okay. Storms come, storms go, but they go, so when you're not in a storm, enjoy it because another one's coming in. So
Life is too short to be
it
sad.
is. Yeah, it absolutely is.
Are there any specific stories of student or maybe parent behavior that you've worked through with drivers, specifically using this positive behavior theory?
Back to thinking about which way to go.
Mhm.
When I had parents that call, they're angry. And when they
Yeah.
get to me, they're angry. They want to know what's going on. They want to know how I'm going to fix it.
Mhm.
And I think the most important thing when a parent calls is just to listen. because they just, I have to remind myself, and I want my people to remind themselves, it's their kid. They love their kid. They want you to help them make their kid have a great day, right? And so I just listen, and then I let them know that, I will, I'll look into it. More often than not, I tell my drivers this. So like I said in my story, I always assume good intentions. And even with the parents, when they call, they love their kid. They want you to help. So, um, with my driver, I assume good intentions. I love it. The video, whole video, we look to see what happened. I give the mom a call. I let them know, what it is that happened and what we're going to do to fix it. And I haven't really had anybody not accept, because of listening, because of understanding, because you care. And I'll call them back later to see how it's going, because I really want them to know I genuinely care about them and that their kid has a good life, and that's, so I don't know if that answered your question, but
Now, how many students do you transport? Because
we
you're kind of a larger district.
we transport about 12,000 students a day.
Yeah. And how many buses again?
We have a total of 181 buses,
Okay.
but we have about 130 routes
Okay.
out there every day.
And so to give that much attention to each parent is quite a feat. So I love that you do that. And I'm sure they do.
Yes. It, you know what? It's not, I don't get a lot of calls, and
Hmm.
I have good drivers. I have good staff. They care also. They care. And with that, things happen, of course, on the buses. So if I don't get any calls, everybody in this seat is going to get called from parents. But it's not too bad because my staff is so good at what they do. And so
And that has to start from the top. And clearly you set a very good example. But tell us more, when we kind of zoom out a
Mhm.
little, how do you build a strong culture where, outside of the students, but your staff feels like they're important and they matter and they're heard too?
Yeah. The number one, and it's with students on the bus, and it's with my drivers. And I have about 225, give or take a few drivers, is learn their names.
Mhm.
That is the relationship piece. People really care about a name. If I go out and I call someone a name that isn't, I mess up sometimes, and they will correct me right away about what their name is. That's how important. I mean, just go out and call someone a wrong name and see how they react to it. It's a relationship builder. It shows that you care. So that's the number one thing is that I do to show people that I care is learn their name. And then I go out and to keep it up, I go out every day and I give them a smile. I walk through the staff lounge. I walk over to the mechanic. I have my little walkthrough that I do, and I make sure that I practice what I preach. I mean, if I'm asking them to learn the names of the students, then I better learn their names. And so that's the number one thing. And then just to be out there. I want to be out there. I want to talk to people. I want to learn about them. And, it takes time, but people come first. It's okay if it takes time. We've got to take care of our people because they're the ones who take care of those kids out there. And if we don't take care of them, why would they want to take care of the kids? It's
And that was one theme that really stood out in your story was how hands-on you are
Mhm.
and how active you are in participating in every part of, the transportation business at your district. And, Sam was telling us about how you just love waving to the buses as they come
Yeah.
and go each day. So he got a picture that we shared in the article of you doing that. And that face
Mhm.
time is so important.
We do. And we have a group that waves out at the drivers, and it just makes them feel so good to send them out with a smile on your face, so you put a smile on theirs. Um, it's definitely worth it. They have a tough job, and I was in that seat, so I know. I mean, they work 13 hours a day to get 8, and they do it every day. They show up and they do it every day, and that means a lot. They're definitely my heroes in my book. So,
You're some of their heroes too.
well, thank you. I hope so.
I don't have any doubts. You mentioned knowing everybody's name. And, some people are not good at remembering names. I'm one of them at times. Any tricks you have to use like a mnemonic device, or how do you keep that in there?
I go out every day and I practice.
Okay.
And if I see somebody, I'm not sure that I can't remember who that is, or we have a wall of pictures with all our drivers on it.
Okay.
And I'll go there and I'll look. And then the next time I see them, I say what their name is. And when I learn somebody, I try to repeat their name several times in a conversation. That way it gets, in my memory bank. So when I have a meet and greet with everybody when they first start here and they get tested and they're ready to go. I spend 15, 20 minutes with each one because I'm to get to know them. And that really really helps me in remembering.
Okay. And, I just remembered too, another piece of your story is you incorporate a lot of fun into your district. You have Spirit Week. You love dressing up in costumes. Tell us about how you kind of weave fun into your culture.
I have to acknowledge Sam here, who nominated me. Sam is our dean of students, and he is just a ball of energy. And he once a month, he tries to find something that, would be fun for the drivers. And not everybody appreciates it, but not everybody might partake of it because that's not everybody's fun, right? But at least it's there to participate. And so he does stuff and I do stuff. We both work together. And I had to tell you something about Sam. I don't think very many districts have a dean of students, and what a help that is. The schools are busy, and we have several schools and they're busy. And Sam actually builds that connection with the school. He has that connection with the drivers that have a lot of fun. And I support every bit of it. So it's, it's not that hard. When we have Spirit Week or Secret Pal, I send out the information, hey, we're going to do this. And people just participate. We're having Sam sending one out, just sent one out this morning. May the 4th be with you. So we all do the Star Wars theme.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So he just sent that out. And there are people that just go all out with Star Wars. And some people are jealous because they want it to be Star Trek instead. But
I would be one.
That's all part of the fun, right? The talking, the back and forth. And all that stuff. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned Secret Pal, and you mentioned that in your story too, but what is that?
So it's a month long, and we start in November. We ask people if they want to participate. They fill out a sheet that says who they are, what they like, favorite color, do they like this, and they turn it in. And then they draw out of all the people that turned in the sheets, they draw names out of whatever I have. And then for a month, they have a secret pal. They buy in gifts, cards, it doesn't take much. The game is to keep it a secret. Don't let them know that it's you. And then we have a get together just before winter break. And everybody gets to find out who their secret person was. It's a lot of fun.
It's like Secret Santa, just not at Christmas time.
Right. Well, it is around Christmas time.
Okay.
Typically the theme for giving is around Christmas time.
Yeah.
So we put that around there.
Yeah.
And we had 40 some people participate this last year. It's a lot of fun.
One thing that can be hard for a lot of people is change. but there is a lot of change in the world and in the workplace. So, how do you navigate that? How do you help your team feel like they're a part of the process? And I know that you mentioned some change that is coming at your with some services you're using. So tell us how you're planning to make that successful.
I have team meetings with each of my departments, and every 2 weeks we sit down for an hour and we just talk about stuff. And that's my opportunity to share anything that might be happening, anything that's coming new. Um, the vendor that we're going to be having come in Zoom, wonderful people. I'm very excited. It's going to do everything for us here. And so we had Zoom present to each one of the departments, and we talked about it. Is it going to help? Is it going to hurt? What do you fear most about getting something new? So we talk about it, and how is it going to, what are your fears? How do you think it's going to help you? Yeah. And people are very excited right now about Zoom. It's something new. It will make their lives so much easier. And, so we've been talking about Zoom for, 6 or 7 months. So if there's an idea that I have, I'll bring it up in my team meetings. And I tell you what, the people will let me know whether it's a good or bad idea, just like that, right? And, then I have to think, is it going to be worth the battle if they don't like something? But then I just keep on talking about it, right? We all just keep on talking about it. And, people don't like change. So the first thing our heads go to is, oh my God, what's that going to do to be in my world here? And we just keep talking through it and talking through it and talking through it. And in the end, not all ideas are a good idea and all changes are going to be good for us. But in the end, that's okay. That's how we grow together as a team.
Now, you've talked a lot about relationships
Oh,
with
yeah.
your students and your team members, but what about outside of the district? How do you manage partnerships with like your vendors,
Mhm.
with community partners?
So, with vendors, as you can imagine, I get a lot of vendors that contact me. And what I understand about vendors is that they have a job, like I have a job, and it's their bread and butter, right? I absolutely cannot meet with every vendor. Just can't. I would be in meetings all day. So when I get, maybe they contact me with emails and I let them know, thank you so much for contacting me right now. We're not looking for this, but I'll keep you in mind, when we do. And so that's what I do. I don't want to not be nice to vendors because they do have a job, that they're going to do. And some of the things I do out of work is one thing we have coming up is rodeo for the school bus drivers. And so I'll be going and help, not participating, but helping with that. Not helping, but supporting. That's the word I want because my training team does the rodeo and they go and they help. And so, the other piece is my husband and I have been married for 46 years, and he gets the rest of my time. He really does. He gets so.
Well, that's important. And it can be hard with a demanding job to make time for family.
And he understands the time it takes, and I understand the time that I need to give up for him. And it's a good partnership.
Good. Now, you just mentioned the rodeo. Is that one that you host just within your district, or are you talking about the Oregon State Association?
So we have a practice run here at Transportation.
Okay.
In April, we have a non-work day and we have a barbecue and whoever wants to participate can. Then the Oregon one is coming up on May 30th. So then anybody that wants to participate in that, they can. And so it's a lot of fun. It's a good relationship builder with people and other districts. And so that's coming up.
And what does being involved in an association mean to you?
It means that even though I don't, my time is spent for my people, that my people are welcome to participate in the Oregon People Transportation Association. I have several that are in offices there. They help with the classes. These guys do a lot for them, and I support that because this is an organization that has classes for, school bus drivers in the state of Oregon. They do a lot. And so it's really important to me that my people, that give them that opportunity to support that organization, but also in them going to the organization, they're growing also. It's a great organization. So
Okay, let's look to the future. And, we've talked about inspirational people, but uh, if someone is looking at you and saying, I want to be like Kathy, and, they want to carve out that path for them as a transportation director or some other, leadership position that speaks to them, what's your advice for how to rise the ranks and be successful?
So when I first hired on as a school bus driver, I had no idea this is the road that I would end up at. Not at all. It just wasn't a goal of mine. I was happy being a driver. And then when the training position opened up, my kids were grown now. I thought, you know what, I want more. So I got the training position. Then the lead training position opened up, and I thought, I can do that. And I'm a trainer. It wouldn't be much different. And I get a little bit more money on it, right? So, but as I grew in this organization, my passion for it, if somebody wants to become a leader, have that passion, love your people, love the kids. There's nothing like the people here, nothing like it. They're good people and they deserve to be treated with goodness. And the associate director position opened up for North Clackamas. I applied for and got that. So the journey then brought me to the director position here. But it just became about taking care of the people that work so hard every day here and take care of those kids. It's really important. I love kids. I have a passion for them. I want to pass that passion over to my drivers, and bus drivers are world changers. Not just bus drivers, our staff here that support our bus drivers, they all have a job and a piece that they do to take care of these kids, and they're great people. They do it good. So that's what brought me in a nutshell. It's the passion and drive that I have, that I want to make a difference in the drivers and the staff that I have here to go out there and make a difference to the kids.
When you think about the future, is there anything you hope to see change or evolve in the industry? What are your hopes for the future of student transportation?
Now having enough staff is difficult. It's less difficult for me than it is for the drivers that are covering 3 or 4 different routes out there, or my staff who have to put the pieces together in the morning. I would hope that people would see what a difference that they can make in getting into this industry, and to think about it, because it's a great industry to get into. My hope is that districts would be able to build their driver pool, because that's difficult. It's really difficult when you don't have enough staff. We're doing better. We almost have all our routes covered. I would suggest a recruiter for organizations. We have a recruiter here just to bring in school bus drivers, just to bring in, not just school bus drivers, but anything transportation. You don't even know how much that's helped us. And so my hope would be if people don't have a recruiter or don't have a dean of students, that they would consider that, because dean of students and what he does to bring, to drive relationships between us and the schools, and my recruiter who brings in the good people that she brings in, it's just, it's great. Yeah.
So what would you say to someone who's listening to this and they're like, oh my gosh, I want us to have a recruiter or a dean of students too, but maybe they don't have a great relationship with some of their administrators and they don't know how to pitch something successfully or feel like they'll be hurt. How have you made those inroads? What advice do you have?
Number one, applies the relationship piece. The relationship piece is everything. Number two, you can't get along with everybody all the time. So as hard as you might be trying to build that relationship, it just isn't going anywhere. But I would say to step up and step out, because if you don't ask, it's going to be a no. If you do ask, it could be a yes. It could be a yes. Ask. People, they're getting the calls from parents. The bus is on time. We have another driver again. They're actually getting calls. You don't know how it's affecting the other part of the staff, right? The administrators and things like that. And it has helped us so much to have those positions. I mean, all positions are important, but those are two key positions that have really helped us. So be brave.
Always good advice.
Yeah.
Now, any closing thoughts? What else do you want people to know?
I want people to know that anybody can do anything, right? I really was a scrawny little at-risk teenage girl, and my faith that I received helped me. And I don't want to be cliche, but I really have to thank, Jesus Christ for putting me where he did, because that word to people or that person to people really brings a lot of politicalness in there. But that's not what it is for me. It's love. I learned to love. And that's the number one thing. I don't fight with anybody. I just set the example by showing love. And it was a walk and a journey to get out of some of the things that I had put myself through as a teenager. I found something that I'm making a difference in, and I would hope that anybody just do it. There isn't anybody that can't do this. People think that I can't do it because I'm just not good enough. Yes, you can. If you have the passion, you have the drive, you have a heart and a soul to take care and love people, yes, you can. I don't care how many times you get told no, keep applying. If that's what you want, don't stop. And that's what I would say. I really appreciate the time. I appreciate the award. I appreciate the time. Thank you so much. I know there's other people that are deserving. I want to thank them too, because there's people that will watch this and just nominate. If you think somebody is deserving of this award, nominate them, because they're not going to find out unless they do. So thank you, Sam, for nominating me. Feels good.
Thank you, Kathy, for doing what you do. We're so appreciative of people like you in this industry. Thank you. If you want to hear more about Kathy, make sure to check out her cover story in the April issue of our magazine and online right now. We'll link this story in the video description so you can find it easily. If you want to join Kathy and other amazing school transportation leaders, sign up to attend SBFX. Applications are now open and will be back in Scottsdale from September 21st to 23rd, 2026. I hope to see you there. Until then, you can find more school bus headlines and hot topics on our website anytime. Be sure to follow our YouTube channel and connect with us on social media. Another big thank you to the sponsor of the route, IC Bus, proudly offering vehicles and solutions that are ahead of its class. We'll see you again soon. Thanks for rolling with us.